Now, it has come to the attention of the Commission that Namfrel is saying that they were not aware of the transmission router solution, and that they don't know basically what we were talking about when we said transmission router. They claimed not to have been in on the discussions. Um, it's kind of surprising because we have minutes, and the minutes very clearly show that Namfrel was present at the meeting where this was discussed. Okay? At the proper time, we will release these minutes to the public. Right now, we are preparing a chronology of events relative to the conduct of the elections so that we will know exactly when decisions were made, when decisions were approved, and when decisions were implemented, and what happened in between. Okay? Because it's very, it seems that people are forgetting things, right? So again, Namfrel was present at that meeting, and at that meeting, one of the most important things discussed was the transmission router. In fact, during that meeting, the Commission insisted that if the transmission router would be used, number one, the data must be forwarded as soon as possible and should not be retained for more than an hour. Second, upon transmission, the data must be deleted upon successful transmission. Third, the use of the transmission router must be subject to local source code review and international certification entity review. Okay? And that there must be a certification from the NTC after the trusted build. Fourth, that the data should not be remotely accessible. In other words, when this was discussed, those were the conditions the Comelec set forth to make sure that the use of the transmission router was secure. Number one, that the data would not be stored. Number two, that the data would not be remotely accessible. And number three, that the use of the TR must be subject to the local source code review. Okay? Yung data must not be stored comes in two parts. First, it must, once transmitted, it must be deleted. And second, it must be forwarded as soon as possible, not to exceed 1 hour. Okay? So it was always the idea for the transmission router to just be a traffic cop. It was never a facility to store data, not like what people are trying to say now. So again, this was voted on, and the solution, the adoption of the solution was actually voted on, and Namfrel was actually part of the voting. And the result of the voting was unanimous. So again, we don't know where they're coming from, but where we're coming from, we have receipts.